Alright, in the previous two videos, we learned about actions which indicate what happened in the application, and we also learned about reducers that update the state based on those actions. In this video, let us learn about the Redux store, which brings the actions and reducers together. Right now, we just know one thing about the Redux store, and that is, for our entire application, we will always have just one store. Although the concept seems simple enough, the Redux store has a couple of responsibilities. First, it is responsible for holding the application state. Second, it exposes a method called getState, which gives our application access to the state it holds. Third, it provides a method called dispatch to allow any updates to the application state. The dispatch method accepts an action as its argument. The store also allows our application to register listeners through the subscribe method. The subscribe method accepts a function as its argument, which is executed anytime the state in the Redux store changes. Finally, you can also unsubscribe to the store by calling the function that was returned by the subscribe method. Now, our goal is to implement all these responsibilities in our application. Let's start with the first one. The store has to hold the application state. If we go back to VS Code, you can see that we already have the state of our application represented by this single object. We now have to create a store that will hold this object. And this is where we will introduce the Redux library. If this was a React application, for example, we could use the ES6 import syntax. So import Redux from Redux. However, we are running this application as a simple Node.js app for which we have to use the require syntax. So const Redux is equal to require Redux. The Redux library provides a method called createStore, which we are going to use for, as you might have guessed already, creating the store. So const createStore is equal to redux.createStore. And now, at the bottom, we make use of the method. Const store is equal to the method createStore. The createStore method accepts a parameter, which is the reducer function. The reducer function has the initial state of the application. This is required for the store to make the state transitions based on the actions received. So that is responsibility number 1. Redux store holding the application state. The second responsibility is to expose a method called getState, which gives the current state in the store. To implement this, I will go back to VS Code and add a log statement. Console log initial state store.getState with parentheses. Since we have not performed any state transitions yet, getState should effectively give us the initial state of our application. Alright, let's move on to the next responsibility. And I'm going to jump to responsibility number 4, which is the next logical step. The fourth responsibility is to allow the app to subscribe to changes in the store. That is achieved using the subscribe method. So back in VS Code, store.subscribe, and the subscribe method accepts a function. To keep our example simple, we are simply going to log the updated state. So arrow function console.log updated state store.getState. So that is the fourth responsibility. Now let's jump back to the third responsibility. The store provides a dispatch method to update the state. So back in VS Code, store.dispatch, and the dispatch method accepts an action as its parameter. Now you could directly provide an action if you want to, but we have an action creator, order cake. So as the argument to dispatch, we invoke that action creator, which will in turn return the action. Make sure to include parentheses again. And to cause a few more state transitions, I will dispatch the same action 2 more times. Alright, that is our implementation of responsibility number 3. The final part is to unsubscribe from the store by calling the function returned by the subscribe method. Right now, we are not capturing the return function from the subscribe method. So let's add const unsubscribe is equal to store.subscribe. Now, after all our code has completed, we can call the unsubscribe method. And that is pretty much it. We have implemented all the responsibilities of the Redux store. We can now test our cake shop application. In the terminal, run the command node index. And you should see the output log. We have 4 statements logged in the terminal. We have the initial state, where the number of cakes is 10. And with each action of ordering a cake, 1 cake has been reduced from the store. Let's trace the code to understand how each log statement is printed. The first line of execution we are concerned with starts at line number 31. This is where we create our Redux store. The createStore method from the Redux library accepts a parameter, the reducer function, which controls how the state transitions happen, and this in turn contains the initial state of the application. Once the store is created, we log to the console the state of the application, which is in fact the initial state. And this corresponds to our first log statement in the terminal. Initial state is an object where we have a property number of cakes set to 10. After that, we set up a listener for the store. So anytime the store updates, we log the state to the console. When we dispatch the first action, the reducer sees that the action type is cake_ordered. It will then try to match this type with the switch cases in the reducer function. It matches the first case and then simply decrements the number of cakes by 1 and returns the new state. Now that the store's state updated, the listener is called, which logs to the console the updated state. In the updated state, the number of cakes is now 9. Similarly, for the next dispatch of order cake, the number of cakes is 9 minus 1, 8. And for the final dispatch, the number of cakes is 8 minus 1, which is 7. At the end, we simply unsubscribe to any changes in the store. If you were to dispatch an action after unsubscribing, you won't see the log statement which shows the updated value. This is because we have unsubscribed to changes in the store. I want you to pause for a minute and try that out. But this is pretty much the Redux pattern. You create a store, declare the initial state and the reducer, define your action and action creators, subscribe to the store, dispatch actions to update the store, and finally unsubscribe to the changes. This is really important to keep in mind as it is the essence of Redux. When we dive into a React application, this is exactly what we are going to do, but with a few helper functions. Now, before we wind up with this basic example, let me revisit action creators as promised earlier. You can see that we have an action creator order cake. Now, you could by all means pass in the action object itself as a parameter to the dispatch method. So in store.dispatch, pass in the action object. But doing this instead of using an action creator has a disadvantage. Imagine you pass in the object to every dispatch method called in several files in your application. And after a few days, you realize you either have to add a new property or rename a property. You would have to do it in all the 5 or 10 or 50 different places. If you have an action creator, the changes are contained to one piece of code. Also, an added advantage is you can make use of function parameters to add some dynamic values. I'll talk more about that in the next video. But my recommendation is to always go with action creators instead of using just actions. Alright, with that, I hope you now have a clear understanding of the 3 core concepts, the 3 principles, and how the Redux pattern works. Remember, understanding Redux is the foundation to understanding Redux Toolkit and React with Redux. To make sure you have understood the pattern, let's take a look at another cake shop scenario in the next video. Thank you for watching. Please do consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.